Good evening, folks. It's Tuesday, August the 25th, 2009. I've been reading some articles, and basically, I think this information, if you click my more info section right there, the courts have ordered the Fed to disclose emergency bank loans that was provided last year and stuff like that during the crisis. Now, this information will be very interesting because then you get to see which banks are having problems. Now, of course, our disagreement before was that the FDIC running out of money would cause the bank runs. And I'm saying no. Tomorrow there's not going to be no bank run because the government will, for sure, fund the FDIC, so there's no problem. What is a problem is that most people don't understand the concept of paper money, that they could just print it and make any bank solvent, right? By giving them emergency bank loans, they have in effect printed the money and made the bank solvent. So you don't need to worry about the bank going bust. But that doesn't matter. People will just look at it and say, well, how are you going to pay back the loan? Well, the truth is they're not, right? They're just going to have that loan on the book forever. And just whenever there's a problem, they'll just make more loans from the Federal Reserve. But the average Joe will not see it that way, and they will be taking their money out of the bank and moving it to a safer bank, which would cause, of course, the bank run, because the Federal Reserve would be foolish if they just continue to keep giving the bank that's getting the run more loans, emergency loans, to keep it propped up. I don't see that being the case. Thus, you'll see a bank run and then possibly even a bank holiday. Right? So, check that information out. Also, interesting fact about China. They didn't mention silver in this article, but they're saying that the world faces high-tech crunch as China eyes ban on rare metals export. So basically, China wants to stop all rare metals from leaving its country. Now, it's mentioned a whole bunch of metals that I've never really heard of. So, but obviously, silver is going to be probably one of those metals that they're going to probably stick into the bill at the last minute as they ratify that into law there in China. So check that article out. So on the in the more info section. Now, Antal Fekete, right? He wrote a nice article about the last contango in Washington. He's written several articles about that, but recently on Monday he's written a new one, and I find it interesting, his stuff an interesting read. I mean, it's mostly entertaining for me. I do see that happening. However, my only concern with his belief is that he doesn't factor in the human factor, meaning that people, right, don't believe that this stuff here, is money. Right? They believe that these banknotes are money, which obviously they're not. But they believe it, and that psychology will stick with the people who has an invested interest in paper money, and they won't clue in unless either somebody says, "Hey, dude, the reason why you want paper money is so that you can buy stuff." And we can't buy gold and we can't buy silver, so that's a problem. They won't clue into that. They go, so I don't want gold, I don't want silver. I can still buy McDonald's at the McDonald's store. That's all good. Yeah, okay, you're just not getting it. But that's the way it's going to be. They're not going to get it, and it's going to be a while before it actually collapses. Even after there's nobody selling gold and silver, because, hey, you know what? Why would you sell it for paper when you don't need it? let's see. I've got other articles there about Greenspan. He's been nominated. He's as Peter Schiff said, the devil you know, and there's no point in nominating anybody else because he's printed money for everybody, made everybody happy. I mean, heck, if Ben Bernanke printed money and gave it to you, wouldn't you want him nominated? Sorry, there's one more thing. I was going to end it there, but Gary Gensler, right? He's the head of the CFTC, and Ted Butler, he's very optimistic about what he is doing at the CFTC. Now, I don't know where Gary Gensler came from, Goldman Sachs. I know what he's done. He's caused the banking system to do this, to collapse the whole system. So, what's he doing at the CFTC? Well, I think J.S. Kim explains it nicely in his article, where he says, well, you know what, it's really simple. The dollar is going to collapse, and Gary's there to make sure that items sold at the commodities exchange are shorted like crazy, but you can't go long very easily. And that is exactly what Gary is doing right now. So check out that article as well.